What exactly is narcissistic personality disorder? A healthy, even sometimes inflated, sense of self can be a good thing. In fact, some researchers believe those who have somewhat grandiose views of themselves are mentally tougher, less stressed, and less at risk for depression. However, narcissism exists on a spectrum. On one side, it's craving the occasional compliment. On its darkest side, it can creep into pathological territory. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is one of 10 personality disorders recognized in the 5th edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5. The hallmark signs of NPD read like laundry list of what not to look for in a significant other: an inflated sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy for others, and a deep need for constant attention or admiration. While someone with NPD's self-esteem can be off the charts, ironically, it can also be super fragile, dependent on external validation or self-deception. They'll believe grandiose fantasies about themselves, i.e. they're smarter, more attractive, and successful than everyone they know, easily put other people down, and generally hijack any conversation, situation to make themselves feel better or superior. Feeling less than perfect is very uncomfortable for a narcissist, and they'll protect themselves from it at all costs. A personality disorder like NPD is about disturbed relationships, says Modesto, California-based psychologist Robert Moody, Ph.D. People with personality disorders, as a class, have a lifetime of struggles with intimate, interpersonal relationships with their family, friends, and coworkers, and that's especially true for those with narcissistic personality disorder. The disorder affects anywhere from 0.5 to 5% of the general U.S. population, with a greater prevalence in men than women. Squared, the percentage is low because, in order to be diagnosed, someone with NPD has to admit they have issues, which they often don't. The real problem with a narcissistic personality disorder is that the individual lacks good insight into what's going on, says Dr. Moody. They think that the problem is all about everyone else, not them.
And it can manifest differently in men versus women. According to research, compared to males, a narcissistic female personality is more likely to include deep insecurity, martyrdom, jealousy, and competitiveness with other women, often seeing them as a threat. Think the overbearing mother-in-law. Men, on the other hand, are more likely than women to exploit others and feel entitled to certain privileges. They're also more apt to exhibit qualities of assertiveness or power hunger.
However, this is not to say these traits are exclusive to either sex. When it comes to vanity and self-absorption, both sexes rate equally. Narcissism subtypes. When you think of a narcissist, certain people you know may come to mind. Case in point, the guy at the gym in the too tight tank who's more concerned with how his muscles look in the mirror than actually working out. The coworker who fills her Insta feed with her face, at every angle. But narcissism isn't just about looking pretty. There are, in fact, a few different types of narcissists.
Narcissism subtypes. Number 1. The covert narcissist, or vulnerable narcissist. Basically the exact opposite of the stereotypical type. Instead of craving the spotlight and constant admiration, covert narcissists tend to be shy, self-effacing, hypersensitive to how others perceive them, and chronically envious. They often think their pain or suffering is worse than everyone else's, and may even believe they're the ugliest person in the room.
Number 2. The cerebral narcissist. They derive their self-importance from their intellect, believing they're smarter than everyone else. Number 3. The somatic narcissist. Somatic narcissists get their self-worth from their bodies. They tend to obsess over physical appearance, including weight, and criticize others based on their appearance.
Number 4. The spiritual narcissist. They use religion or spirituality to intimidate or justify harmful behaviors to others that can creep in when an individual takes a holier-than-thou stance, overemphasizing their level of spirituality or closeness to God. Harmful behaviors can happen when, as an example, a church leader claims they had a vision from God about someone else, or that they're in a higher position to use biblical passages to control, hurt, or shame someone.
Other types mentioned in NPD research include grandiose, or overt, that stereotypical over-the-top, attention-seeking type, and high-functioning, meaning those who may use traits such as competitiveness and exploitation to succeed in a profession or endeavor. However, it should be noted that there is a broad spectrum of presentable traits with NPD, each with varying levels of severity, so subtypes should be used as guides rather than hard and fast rules.